Hi, it's Joy and today we're watching Warrior Nun Season 2 Episode 5, Mark 10:45. I am so excited to jump back in, I am so stressed, I adore this show. A reminder that as always you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance. And before we go, I'm literally filming this right after I filmed the previous Warrior Nun, so the sound settings are all the same. So as I said in the previous one, do let me know if there are any obvious problems. If I have already spotted them, it would be nice to have confirmation, and if I haven't, it will be really great to know. So yes, let's go.
And how they would eventually
Trying to sell Lilith on his reasonings, because even if he's telling some version of the truth, it's a version of the truth that pins him as the hero, not the truth.
And God sent her an answer.
Did he now?
Adriel took up that new weapon.
God, we could use you roundabout now.
And to Adriel's he did not have. Her sisters. Yes. They were her true power. Her strength. She turned the entire
OCS against me.
It's very cleverly done how they're telling this story.
So he drove his fist into Adriel's internal organs.
Jesus Christ.
And up to clasp her heart.
Well, I feel great about going up against him now.
To get close to him.
Jesus Christ.
The last of her strength.
She died to stop him.
On Adriel's head.
Ariana died to trap him.
Well, we're not repeating that.
Well, if it worked once, it can work again. Right?
That's the sole purpose.
First of all, no. You do not need to die to save him. Second of all, he'll expect the exact same move.
No one in history has ever defeated Adriel and lived.
Admittedly, only one person in history has ever fought him. So, you know.
Looks like we're gonna have to make...
Tell Jillian my son is here.
Is he her son?
Hello, Mother.
Oh my god. What? Again, did not expect that of all my questions about who this man was. Now, will you tell us everything, please? What a casual pope.
I wasn't alone.
Tell us! Just having a drink when that happened, excuse you. Camilla, tell her what is happening, okay? Tell her.
Sorry.
He was in Miguel's head, he's in yours.
She touched me.
Oh fuck, she was an Adriel follower.
Camilla, come with me.
You're not alone, sweetheart. I mean, unfortunately, I feel like that's literal with Adriel as well, but... Michael Miguel.
Found by wandering angels.
Nice, real angels.
To Rhea.
Rhea, who's turning Lilith.
Can't tell you.
She has got her hooks in him. She had him since she was a kid. I do think Rhea's gonna turn out to not be good, but Adriel's still bad.
Sorry, I get carried away. Never apologize for your gifts. Just use them wisely.
Exactly. I mean, this is kind of a gathering of all of Adriel's opposition.
I couldn't even begin to explain to you what you are.
Because you don't know. Lilith, I know you're desperate for answers and finding a place in the world. This is not it.
No, stop! What are you doing?
Shit. Why did you ever trust him? I did notice that. They're both blonde. I should have expected it.
Can I show you something?
Or was it Rhea's face? That, of course, that's the angel that came and gave the crown to...
Is this Rhea?
Thingamajig. Ariella.
I thought I could change things.
Oof.
Rhea's way is the only way.
He is brainwashed. Like, he has been raised since he was like, what, 10, 12? I can't judge children's ages. Small boy, raised by big, powerful being. We can't trust Miguel, because he's not himself. He's a brainwashed drone person, and maybe if he said he was starting to doubt, was he maybe going to consider doing things another way, not doing whatever her plan is? And now I'm stressed because she clearly, we know, I mean, I believe Adriel when he says that whatever the forces are on the other side want him and the Halo. Again, as I keep saying, just because he may not be as bad as Rhea doesn't mean he's good.
Mother Superior never talks about it, but I know it affects her.
Of course it does. You dedicated your entire life to something, and that something was built on a foundation of lies. Even if there was an ultimate truth remaining through it.
I'm just trying my best to help everyone.
We know.
I never feel like it's enough.
And even if we're not okay right now, we will be.
Thank you. They needed this conversation. I needed it.
Neil?
Oh Lord.
That's not
Sweetheart.
Take it out. I can't.
Jesus Christ. Camilla, it's going to be okay. I don't know how, but it will be. We're gonna fix this.
Open your eyes.
Lilith, can you kill him,
I
please?
never should have trusted you.
She can see demons now.
What you see?
So you are in league with demons. That's why the demons fought the Tarvask, because there are pro-Adriel demony things and there are pro-Rhea demony things, I guess.
Reality. My duty to worry about the warrior nun and her safety. There's nothing more to it now.
Beatrice,
There's no
it's
shame in it.
okay. Exactly.
It's easy to fall in love with a warrior nun. They never last.
Fucking hell. It is the reality they live in, though. I mean, they named Lilith as the next warrior nun when Shannon was still extraordinarily young. It wasn't like Shannon was getting on a bit. They have to prepare for the worst at all times. I'm sure Mother Superior knows exactly if Ava dies, who they'd try and transfer it to out of these girls. But someone actually said it to her, falling in love with the warrior nun. She's practicing. Oop, and... Is it prolonged contact with the thingy that's draining it?
Fine. It's getting worse.
Oh. Does the halo just be drained? Is it Ava's self-belief?
I trust you. You know I do.
Yeah.
We'll beat him.
We will. And Rhea, if need be.
You could always just ask him.
Yes.
And he will continue to brainwash us.
Unsettled? No.
It's hard being reminded of what a traitorous, backstabbing bitch you are, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Just suppose it is as they say, that Adriel is a flesh and blood.
It would be the Archbishop of Canterbury.
Denying him could evoke the...
We gave up the information on questioning.
Yes, we tortured him.
Before he destroys our faith, our church, and our world.
I mean, the world should be the biggest priority here.
So we are certain he is not who he says he is.
No! You're just afraid, that's all.
Be wise to keep silent, girl, and heed your superiors.
And you would be
What makes you
wise,
superior?
Archbishop. To listen to someone far more informed than yourself.
How
Yes.
dare you, superior women of your flock to
He
speak
would be a sexist bitch, wouldn't he?
Basta! Faithful and unfaithful alike.
If you're truly Christian, you should care for everyone.
I'm willing to face the truth.
Is he loyal to Adriel?
Take him seriously. Who will stand with us today in the greatest
He's still the most loyal cardinal of all.
difficult steps to correct the mistakes of our past.
Fuck, he's an Adriel.
No!
See ya, Archbishop! Jesus Christ, I thought there'd be some infiltration.
Scrawled across a newly blank slate.
You were the most loyal cardinal.
Call into your a deity you could barely define. Now
This man is going for it.
to you. Save your pious cries.
Just because he's powerful doesn't mean you should worship him. Oh, Yasmin.
May Edward bring your peace.
Why did it take you this long to act? Oh Lord. Good.
It's me.
Fuck, they fell in a cross.
It's not too late. We can still defeat Adriel.
Because it's not too late until every single one of us opposing him is gone. I love the music. And then they just walk in. I don't trust Miguel. Miguel. She got it coming out of her too.
When you pray,
Whoa.
or focus your mind deeply on, has discovered a way to tap into that impulse.
Whoa.
To convert it into energy.
They heard the call.
More nuns? Oh good, I was stressed for a moment there. Survivors.
Bring that one to me.
Brave angel. Beatrice is like, yeah, that'll do.
If they had wanted to kill me, I would have died in that room.
I mean, it is true, the bodyguard could have shot him in the head.
To legitimize him in front of the world.
Let's hope the halo doesn't give out on Ava. Please, 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 please.
No! Ava!
Fucking hell. I was waiting for him to have some sort of power that could save her. Ava? Fucking hell. Oh my god.
I know that warrior nuns die. Please don't leave me.
Beatrice.
I don't want to die.
Oh.
You know, I'd like to avoid that myself. Easy. Easy. It's okay. They can't beat us, Pete.
They better not.
That's together. I know that.
I love them so much, and I love all of this group. Miguel, I still feel like he's not a bad person. He's just maybe brainwashed by Rhea, whatever Rhea is. For I have sinned.
But you have sinned.
May God.
Lilith.
The path we will
Lilith,
walk.
this man is using you. You better be using him back.
I need you by my side.
Lilith. Oh my goodness. Lilith, you are losing yourself. I'm not a fan of this. Disappointed in Lilith, but I also kind of understand how her character has got to this point. You know, she's not someone that, like Vincent, who kind of just threw himself off the cliff into zealotry. She is someone who has gone through a lot, has had a lot of pressure on her from her family, put that pressure on herself, kind of reached the point of, I'm going to be the next warrior nun. I mean, I don't really want Shannon to die, but when it happens, it's going to be me, to, oh, now that annoying girl has got it and she doesn't know anything. I'm nothing. Oh, now I'm dead. Oh, now I'm a monster. You know, like, she's going through a whole lot. I just wish she'd maybe lent on her sisters a little bit more. Like, yes, maybe they couldn't have told her what was happening. Maybe they would have been horrified and said, oh my god, you're becoming a demon. But I hate that she's doing this on her own. I hate that she's gone to Adriel. And I initially was thinking, okay, just go to him, use him for information, figure out from him all the stuff he knows about what's going on with you. And then once you have that information, be like, okay, I'm going to use that against you now, bitch. I'm manipulative too. But instead, she's just allowed herself to be fully manipulated by him. And do you understand? She was in a very vulnerable spot at the time. You know, Gillian kind of used her, and then, you know, her mother had rejected her. Like, she's not doing well. I just hope that when it comes down to it, Lilith chooses to fight against Adriel. Because the person we first met, as much as she was arrogant and kind of annoying, I don't think she would have been okay with mass innocent casualties, or with somebody being like, worship me or die. You know, that wasn't, at least, I mean, I think all of us have the capacity to have some darkness within us, and maybe they're going to take her down the route where she goes dark and she'll become a big bad. But I just sort of hope that she's ultimately like, well, I don't need you, Adriel. I don't need to follow your word just because you say so. I'm uber powerful. We've already discussed this. Like, you're my minion. I'm very interested with where the story's going to go, and I'm worried for her. I was really looking forward to her maybe joining the team, and I still refuse to believe Mary is dead until I see her body. And I do think if they had her body, Adriel and Vincent would have used it to try and demoralize the OCS somehow. So the conclave was a good idea in theory, but in general, you already didn't suspect that one cardinal of being Adriel's supporter. You know he's getting more and more and more followers. It was a very risky move to make, but I suppose the Pope doesn't have much of an army at hand. She doesn't really have many choices. It was, you know, pretty... I was like, oh, maybe the one cardinal's like the best guy ever. He's the worst guy ever. The Archbishop of Canterbury, you know, well, you know, we don't need one, so don't bother replacing him. It's all good. But it was interesting. I thought it was particularly... I enjoyed seeing 2 women stand up and tell this room full of men what was going on, particularly because the Catholic Church is a very... I mean, is it nowadays you can have female bishops? Or is that just the Church of England? I don't know. I'm not into religion, as you know. But it's been like traditionally a very patriarchal society, as most systems in the world are. So seeing them both be the ones who are not only the most informed, but the ones that are like, you are doing nothing, and like, get your act together. And I thought it was interesting that it was kind of after their speech that the Adriel followers acted, because they were like, well, we don't have much more time. These women are going to be leading the charge any minute. They definitely want the Pope for something. I presume it's to legitimize, because as much as Adriel is very powerful and getting more powerful, the more followers he gets, the more prayers he can tap into, which is a really cool concept. He still can't be everywhere at once yet. Now, I think if he's left unchecked, he will get to that point where, you know, someone like me that wouldn't be going to his temple at any point, I'd be like, oh, maybe you're all powerful. Once you do actual, like, fix climate change, solve poverty, you know, stop hurricanes, maybe then I'll consider giving you a wave. He would be able to infect every brain eventually on the planet, because we saw the way we know the little boy, I'd forgotten that it's been so long that she built the ark, or she built the technology with visions that her son was having. I think if the show had come out closer together, I would have remembered that, but I had forgotten that. You know, he is a master manipulator, and it's not going well. Our numbers are dwindling more and more and more. I was thinking, well, maybe we'll have a couple of people in the church to help. No, but don't have those. So it's 2 days until his big plan. It's more like 1 day until his big plan now. And there are 3 episodes left. 6, 7, 8. I'm stressed. I love the show so much that I'm enjoying it so much, and it needs to be renewed. So the big revelation was who Miguel is. And I think, again, if the show had been out closer together, I'd kind of forgotten her son's name was Michael, even though I'm sure she said it this season. But Gillian is a character that when she's on screen, this season I felt bad for her, but I'm also like, hey, can we get back to the action? The revelation that he was her son was huge. It makes so much sense. You know, we know time works differently in the other place. Now, if Rhea was truly a good, loving being, she would have healed the child and sent him straight back again. There would have been no need to keep him and raise him into being a warrior to go and steal the halo back, or whatever his plan is. So it is interesting. It is concerning. Is he the reason the halo is dying or dipping in and out? Is he somehow stealing the halo energy back to take it back to Rhea? I feel like it's going to be a situation where some of what Adriel said is the truth. Like, Adriel's the best, like, big deceptions and lies and cons have grains of truth within them. So if, you know, we heard Michael, I need, like, Ava and co to use his name again to see if he's just reverting to Michael, or if, like, they're gonna call him Miguel. But for him to, the way he said Adriel, like, Adriel's master, that backs up Adriel's story. And the way he saw Rhea's face, and then he was like, I was wrong to question. I must follow my mistress's plan. I definitely think Rhea is not good. I mean, she came to I know her name, it's not Aurelia, the first warrior nun, and gave her the crown of thorns, so she's able to cross over. I do think it could be, maybe it would be nice if she turned out to just be a really great gal, but I don't think she will be. Definitely, I feel like Adriel maybe came here escaping oppression, or escaping someone that wanted to tell him what to do. But the minute he got here, he's now creating his own form of that. So he's not a good person. It doesn't excuse his actions. I think Miguel is going to betray us. I think he spent more time on the other side than he did with his mother. I'm not entirely sure how old he was, but he was little and now he's big. He spent a lot of time with Rhea. She healed him. You know, she gave him his life back. again, I think he still loves his mother, he'll have remembered his mother and know that she did everything she could to save him. But Rhea has had her hooks in this boy, this man, for a very long time, raising him to be a soldier to come back. And so given that some of what Miguel has said backs up what Adriel said, Adriel has said that she wants the Halo and Adriel back on the other side. Now, we already know that, although when he said my home, when he suggested they go to his home, he meant Gillian, not the other side. I am so fucking slow. I was gonna say the fact that he was trying to tell Ava to go back to the other side meant that he was being evil, but maybe he wasn't. Maybe he did just mean Gillian's house, that's why they went there. And they weren't just looking for Lilith. I could be being... But anyway, I feel like he's definitely was sent here to get close to the warrior nun, to maybe try and bring the Halo back, to stop Adriel, I don't know. But I'm excited to learn more about it. I definitely like the way he is woven into the pre-existing plot. He's not just like... I was initially thinking, oh, he's going to be some random dude who, like, is from an adjacent order that knew stuff about something or other, or his sister was a warrior nun, or, you know, he was going to have some tangential, that's not the right word, link to what was going on and just exist. Whereas I like how they've included him, and I think we're at this point where I'm expecting him at any moment to be like, wow, my Halo now, I've got to go home to Rhea. So I am worried about him, but I hope ultimately he's the kind of character that will realise that if he has been manipulated by Rhea, he'll realise it and come good, because I don't dislike him. Anyway, it's a mess. Camilla, I'm so glad they found out. I'm so glad that she told, you know, when it happened again, it wasn't a one-off occurrence, it wasn't just a small thing. She told Beatrice, and she told Beatrice everything, and they were able to figure out what it is. They were able to figure out what was happening to her and hopefully stop it from happening. Not to mention that then led Gillian to figure out the way that Adriel was gaining more power. I love it so much. I think we're getting all the pieces of information we need to maybe try and make a stand against this man. And it's reaching the point where I truly don't know if end of this season Adriel's done, we've killed him, and now Rhea's around, we've got to fight her, or if Adriel will continue as a threat into future seasons, and they're going to make more seasons of this show. Just so, I love it. So Camilla, I loved the scene where Beatrice kind of said, well, you know, I was hard on you, but it was that kind of stereotypical thing of like, you had so much potential, so I had to be hard on you to make sure you could get there. That when your world is life and death, it kind of does make sense. And for her to say, like, you're the best of us, you're the heart of us, I absolutely loved that so much. Because, you know, this sisterhood has got so small. It was fairly small when we first met them. There were a lot of extras, but their numbers are dwindling, and it's so important for them to remember their love for each other, that they are there for each other. I love that Camilla said, I'm there for you too. It's hard to love the warrior nun. You know, when she said, you know, you're going to lose her. No, she's not, because I say so. But I think it was a really important scene for both of them to kind of reconnect with that sisterhood, to reconnect with that. We're not just two people desperately trying to survive, we are two people helping each other survive. And I really, really loved that. I want to talk about Ava and Beatrice at the end, so I'm trying to remember everything else, and I'm really worried. Whenever I'm like leaving a thing to talk about, I worry that I'm either A, going to forget to talk about it, or B, going to miss something else in my excitement to get to the final thing. So if I have missed the giant talking point, I am sorry. Lilith, I talked about Lilith at the beginning. Do better. But she's also going through a lot, so I'm not like, I haven't currently written Lilith off, but I'm also very, very concerned. Like, right now, the alarms are blaring in Lilith Town in my brain. Vincent almost seemed like he was wavering, like that brief interaction with Ava and with Camilla and with Superior was making him question things, which is interesting. So, Ava and Beatrice are everything. I love them so much. I think they are such a... I mean, I say they're an unlikely pairing. Not so much when you know them and their personalities. They are very different, but they are kind of that opposites attract. They're like, their strength, each of their strengths highlights the other strengths. You know, they bring out the best in each other. But they were opposites attract in that Ava was like, woo, I want freedom. And she was like, I am a nun and I do what I'm told. But they really have brought out the best in each other, and they've helped. You know, I think sometimes Ava does need someone to be like, okay, I know you want to run out there and experience the whole world, and you deserve to do that, but also calm a little bit down. You need to just go a little bit slower. And sometimes Beatrice definitely needs somebody to shake her up a bit and to let her know, like, no, let's go have some fun. We don't always have to do the exact right thing. And they bring out the best in each other in so many other ways as well. And I love that we kind of have seen the moment when Camilla said falling in love with the warrior, and like I know like she referred to it as falling in love, I feel like that is the first time the words have been said in that way. We know that like Mary and Shannon were together, so it's not like they're homophobic or like they're kind of, oh no, we're nuns and we stick to our chastity, or I don't know, maybe you don't act on your love. I don't quite know. I'm not big on religious doctrine, but you know, that moment where Camilla was just fully supportive of it, and if anything, Camilla's response was more, I'm here for you because it's a difficult, you know, it's hard to love someone that's going to risk themselves. It's hard to love someone that has such a dangerous role and that, you know, has a responsibility, because, you know, in an ordinary environment, it would be understandable to want your partner to put you first and you put them first. I mean, obviously, healthy boundaries and everything within that, but in a normal relationship, you kind of become the priority in your significant other's life. They should, you know, drop everything to help you out if you need help. Whereas if you have someone that has the kind of responsibility a warrior nun does, you aren't their priority because you can't be. And if you do become their priority, then that's kind of endangering the whole world, and it's a messed up situation that in so many of these superhero shows or whatever you come into. But I think they will be fine, they will get through this, because Beatrice's mission is the same as Ava's. It's not like Beatrice doesn't agree with the mission or doesn't understand the mission. So I really love the way we've kind of seen Beatrice. I think we've seen her realizing she feels that way and running from it for a little while now, but seeing her both have someone say it to her face and acknowledge it, then go through the moment where she thought she had lost Ava. And I feel like what I hope is going to happen now is that they're gonna, I hope they talk about it. Admittedly, I know that right now they don't have a whole lot of time to just sit down and talk about their love lives, but they, you know, there's got to be some traveling, some driving, they could sit in the back, and I hope we're gonna get them to talk about it, to address how they're feeling for each other, because there are no guarantees in life. There are no guarantees in ordinary life. You could get hit by a bus, you could get ill, you could do anything. But for them, their life, they're currently fighting in a life or death, even more so than they ever have been before. They're at war. So I hope Beatrice is going to talk to Ava about how she feels and let Ava kind of talk to her. And, you know, they both are aware that the other one likes them and they haven't really talked about it. But that moment at the end where it's like, we're better together and we can do this together. And when she was like, please, like, I know this world is awful, but don't take her from it. It was a lot. It was everything. It was my favourite moment in the show. I love this show. I love the characters. I love the sisterhood of the OCS. I love the way they have woven the religious lore through it. You know, I am not a huge expert. I did well in my RS. I got the RS prize in year 7, 8 and 9 at school. But I'm not the least bit religious. Most of my in-depth religious knowledge comes from watching shows like Supernatural and Lucifer and Warrior Nun. But, you know, I enjoy the way they take something like that. It's kind of like, I don't mind kind of historical-esque fantasies as well, but the idea where you take kind of pre-existing lore or mythology and you weave it through a supernatural-esque story. I really love how they do it with this show, and I'm so excited to keep watching. This has been a long ramble, I'm very sorry. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction on my Patreon 2 weeks in advance, the edited version 1 week in advance, and thank you so much for watching.